everyone. It's Michelle Cordero here with ASIS Massage Education from our Mesa campus, reporting live in our Mesa campus in my office. Today's guest is a local guest down in our Tucson area. Dianne Taith is going to be chatting with us in just a moment here. We're going to talk a little bit about the continuing education, I don't want to say gap, but the gap that continuing education fills for our therapists that are graduating with a basic level of understanding and education, and then taking those skills and elevating them in the field, and how continuing education, the quality continuing education is that bridge that's helping to cross over there to make really qualified therapists and skilled therapists. So I'm excited to have Dianne on here. Mo, she is the owner of the Tucson Massage Continuing Education, or CE Institute. They just moved to a new location, and we are actually neighbors, our Tucson campus and their new location. We're neighbors right in the same neighborhood, so we're happy to support each other and cross promote our classes that we're having. And so without further ado, I'll bring on Mo. We're going to chat about what's going on shaking in Tucson, and get a little tour of the facility. That's my favorite part. So, all right, welcome, Mo. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us on this and agreeing to do this. I know we talked a couple of weeks ago just to kind of see how can we support each other, and it just so happened it was like great timing. You were going to move into a new facility, and we're going to become neighbors, and this is perfect because one of the things that we were chatting about, and I want to spoil alert too much, and I want us to chat about it is, and this has come up in a couple of our live streams, about how there are more of us in this industry, I feel, that want to do this collaboration effort to uplift the whole field in general, and to be working to help each other and to cross promote. And that's what I felt we connected really well in that conversation the first time. So I was so happy when you agreed to say you wanted to come on and chat. And so we get to share that with everyone else in the Tucson community and beyond. So, not too far for us to drive down and get to experience your location as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I always ask our guests, how did you get into the field? How did things kind of navigate? What brought you to where you are right now?
That is such an interesting story. So in 2005, I was living in Wisconsin. I had a very good friend of mine who was going through the massage therapy program in Milwaukee. And at the time, I had just suffered a really significant lumbar back injury. So I asked this friend of mine, I said, oh my gosh, that sounds, massage therapy, that sounds amazing. Do you think I could do it? And she said, no, I don't think you could make it through the program. And I was completely crestfallen. So, fast forward, I know it was like, so fast forward to 2009, I grew up in Scottsdale. So I moved back to Arizona, and I was looking for a new career. I had just been divorced, and I'm looking online, and I thought it would be really interesting to be a respiratory tech. So I looked online, and I found programs for respiratory tech, and then it asked, what's your second choice? And I just typed in, massage therapy. Mm-hmm. So I went to meet with the admissions rep, and he said, oh, the respiratory tech program is at our other location, but the massage therapy program is here. Would you like a tour? And I said, sure, I'm here. Mm-hmm. So we went around, beautiful clinic, met a few of the instructors, saw students, went into the classrooms, liked what I saw. And I sat down with the admissions rep and I said, so how long is the training for respiratory tech? And he said 24 months. And I said, how long is the training for massage therapist? And he said 11 months. And I said, can I make what is a yearly salary for massage therapist? And I have always appreciated the answer he gave me. The answer he gave me was, this is a very lucrative field. You get out of it what you put into it. And I liked that answer. So I signed up for the massage therapy program.
Nice. Yeah, and there you are. So, and you went to school up in this area, right? So it was in the
I
Phoenix area.
went to school in Phoenix.
Okay, awesome. So, and then how long were you up here before? Did you go right down to Tucson from there? Or did you travel other places?
Oh my gosh, no. I practiced massage therapy in Phoenix for the first 2.5 years, 3 years that I was a therapist. And, having grown up in Scottsdale, we moved to Scottsdale in 72 when I was 7.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of dating myself. But I didn't like the Phoenix area anymore. It didn't resonate with me. It was too busy. I tend to not really like living in larger cities.
Right.
So I had friends that were living here in Oro Valley, and they were living on this amazing 27-acre ranch. It was beautiful. And they said, there's a house empty here if you'd like to move. And so I came down first before I moved here, and I wound up getting a job at Life and Balance Spa at Miraval, and began my massage career in Tucson working at Miraval.
Nice. I love that. I've always heard great things about it. It's one of those on my bucket list things I want to go get
Beautiful.
treatment there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I love it. So when did you decide, or what was kind of the pathway where you decided to start to teach then? Because I know you have taught for us at ASIS at some point. I know you were at Cortiva. And so how did that kind of change for you?
So, I knew when I graduated, I had amazing instructors. First of all, I had amazing, and I'm going to name them. I had amazing instructors when I went to school. It was Marcos Elizondo, Mindy Keeling, Ken Lentine, and John Sadler. And they really, between Mindy Keeling, all of them. I really can't single any one of them out. They really, all of them together. If it weren't for those instructors, I probably would have given up on the program. I was in my mid-40s. I hadn't been in school in a while. I was frustrated. One of the things I tell my students is that I cried every single day that I was in massage school. I thought, have I made a mistake? It challenged me emotionally and mentally and physically. And but what those instructors did was they put this thought in my head. I wanted to be able to elevate students like they elevated me. I wanted to be able to give back like they gave to me. So I always knew I wanted to be an instructor. I always knew I wanted to be an instructor. I applied at a school in Phoenix, and I did not have enough years in as a massage therapist yet. And then I moved to Tucson. So how I started teaching was, a friend of mine was attending ACES, and she called me up and she said, Mo, they're looking for a clinic coordinator at ASIS. And she gave me all the information. So I contacted them and I interviewed, and I did not get the position. But Joseph Rongo, who was the then owner, called me up and said, hey, we would like to have a meeting with you. And he said, in that meeting, he said, we really liked the passion that you showed in your interview. So we were wondering if you would be interested in teaching chair massage. And I thought, well, that's my foot in the door. And before I even taught chair massage, I was getting phone calls. Hey, would you like to teach elder massage? What about hot stone therapy? And so it just kind of snowballed from there. And then I was the instructor that the other instructors would contact when they were going on vacation or whatever. So I just kind of became a massage Jane of all hats.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that you have that connection here with our history at ASIS. And yeah, I know I have a similar, someone asked me, how did you get in your position? I'm like, I started as the A&P teacher. So yeah, things happen. So just kept saying yes to things, and yeah, just kind of snowballed into that. That's for sure. So entry level massage therapy. So the teaching people how to become massage therapists, and then moving to educating already therapists, I feel that that's a big difference because people tell me, oh, you should do CEs. You should do CEs. And I'm like, no, they know what they're talking about and they'll look at me funny. I get like very self-conscious about it. So I feel like I can't do it, which I know it's like a little on the silly side because I know I could do certain things, but I also feel like it's two different animals. And I enjoy the brand new baby giraffe, can't really walk, kind of like, what are we doing? Or one of my instructors call them puppy paws, like they're like don't know what they're doing with it.
Right. Baby steps, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that's my joy, and I can't say I wouldn't like the CEs because I haven't been in that position. But how do you go from I want to develop new students and help them along, like someone helped me, to I need to be part of continuing this education for them once they're out of school? How did that go?
So that was Joseph Rongo again. He approached me and said, hey, we wanted to know if you'd be interested in turning your Hot Stones class into a continuing education class. And I said, absolutely, which meant that, I had to add more hours onto it and do more research. Nice. And so that's how that started. Yeah, that is absolutely how that started. And I liked it was different because I'd been teaching, brand new people to the concept of massage. They knew they wanted to be massage therapists, but they were, just in that learning process, to people who had either just graduated or had been in the industry forever. It's really interesting. The very first student in the very first Hot Stones class that I taught was Kevin Ramsey, who now sits on the Arizona State Board of Massage Therapy. So I knew it was something I wanted to do. I enjoyed the difference between the two teaching styles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely very, very, very different. And I remember when I was teaching, one of my first years teaching at another school, I had a student in class who was mediocre at like attending, showing up, and I said, what's your end goal? I want to be a continuing education teacher. And I just thought, like, what? Yeah. Where did that come from? How are you doing? You're not making it through this program. But if that's another story for another day. But there's definitely a lot to it. So we were talking the other day too about how the basic massage program, and Arizona requires 700 hours. ASS we have 800, but we're kind of on the higher level in the country. A lot of programs around 500 mark, up to about 1,000, and we can only cover so much, right? There's only so much time to really get down to what needs that. We're just giving people the basics and the how-tos, but then they got to fill in the gaps a little bit. So in your experience or in your opinion, what have been some of those gaps? And I can take it. I know we're not perfect either, but there's definitely things that we need help with.
This was, when I remember the very moment that I asked an instructor a question, and it was Marcos Elizondo. And I can't remember what the question was, but he said, I only teach entry-level massage therapy, so I really can't answer that question. And I remember being really, really upset by that answer. And then I as I was a baby therapist and just exiting school, and the first place I worked sent out an email and said, we need oh my gosh, what was it? Oh, a lymphatic drainage therapist. And I emailed right back. I said, I can do it, because we had lymphatic drainage in school. And she called me back and she said, did you take a certification class? I'm like, no, we had it in school. And she goes, yeah, you have to have a certification. And it was, that was the moment like the curtains really opened up for me. And I went, oh, I can't do those massages. There's more to it. Like we got a tiny little, talk to by one or two instructors, about where do you go to, continuing education? What's that? Where do you go? And it was so, what it did say, one of the things you have to know about me, I don't like to be told I can't do something. So that I really don't. So that incident, that experience caused me, because I knew I wanted to be an instructor, to just go out and take as many continuing education classes and certifications. It's interesting to note at this time, I was homeless. I was living in my car. I was living in, I was sleeping on friends' couches. I mean, I really, yeah, I mean, it was, I was really financially hurting. And I went down, I had finally gotten an apartment, and I went down to get assistance with my utility bills. And on the wall, one of those little pocket things that they have on the wall, there was a pamphlet and it said, you know, we will help you. This is, I'm paraphrasing. We will help you if you want to get a certification, if it will benefit your, you know, how much money you make. And I said, well, yeah. So I applied for it because I wanted to get a certification in gua sha, an instrument-assisted soft tissue manipulation. It was something that my instructor, John Sadler, really gave me a passion for. So I was accepted. I wound up taking a class, a 3-week-long certification class in Austin, Texas. Thank goodness I have friends that live in Austin, Texas. And I just kept taking continuing education classes. I kept applying at jobs that said you don't have enough experience. And I would grab my massage chair and sit out in front of their business until security guards would come out and go, what do we have to do to get you to leave? Well, I want to be able to talk to the director of this program because I want a massage here. So I was relentless and I was stubborn, and I just learned as much as I could, and I just never gave up.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so inspiring. That's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and you're not gonna tell me no. That's awesome. That's so great. And wow, what a cool gua sha class, 3-week class on that. Yeah,
it was an awesome class. It was an awesome class.
Do you offer that now too, gua sha?
I don't have it on my menu. It's funny. I just had a client, a regular client that I've had for a couple of years now, and when he booked the last time, he said he called it cupping, and I don't do cupping. Although the idea is similar between cupping and gua sha, I don't do cupping. And so I said, you mean gua sha? And he went, yeah, that. So I actually just brought my tools here a week ago because I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to start offering gua sha again.
Yeah. Okay. No, you got to keep us posted on that because we get questions about it all the time. So yeah. One of the classes that you do offer that kind of got me reaching out to you and chatting about it a little bit is the one that you offer. It's a business related one to help therapists figure out what the difference is with the categories of employee status, right?
Right.
So I'm on your website right now. I was trying to remember what it was called here.
It's called employees, IC, or business owners. Yeah, knowing the difference.
Know the difference. And so that reminds me of what our conversation and how you saw a need of something that needed to be out there, and partly where you built the business. But this particular class, I think, speaks to that a lot. So do you want to talk a little bit about why and what's the problem in the industry?
Yeah, so what caused me to create that class was a conversation I had with Stephanie Rodriguez, who is the creator and CEO of the United States Organization of Licensed Massage Therapists. Mm-hmm. And we were having a conversation one day about how many businesses there are out there that call you an independent contractor, but legally aren't treating you like an independent contractor. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, if I am over a decade into my career in this industry and I'm just figuring that out, I really wanted to learn about it. So I did research. I talked to somebody at the IRS. I talked to my business attorney. I talked to my accountant, and we really did all of this research to find out legally what a massage independent contractor is and what you should expect and what you should not accept. Mm-hmm. So it kind of morphed from there, and then it became, okay, what if you're an employee? How can you, a lot of places, Miraval, for instance, if you upsold something at Miraval, let's say, they had little sheets that had the names of products that we may have used during that service. And when we were done, we'd say, if you'd like to take a little bit of Miraval home with you, this is what I used, and that's the retail store where you can purchase it. And you would get a percentage of whatever sales. So that allowed me to make more money. And so that is included in that class as well. How can you make more money as somebody who is an employee? And then business owner, if you own your own massage business, how do you make that lucrative? How do you build a clientele? How do you get past, the fear and the anxiety that some people feel when they're like, oh, I just couldn't do it. I've got all these clients other places, and then I'd be, and I have worked for so many different aspects, venues and massage, day spas, cancer treatment centers. I've been an independent contractor at a couple of different places, and I enjoy the freedom that being a business owner gives me. And so I really wanted to share that experience with students, research-based and experience-based continuing education classes. I think it's so important.
Yeah.
Especially right now, in the climate we're in right now. How do I make more money? How do I bring myself back from, the financial hardships that I may have experienced in the last 12 months? Yeah. So I wanted to bring a little bit of that to people that were interested.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do think the business instruction, and I admit that we could do more, and we could make the whole 800 hours about business and marketing and everything like that. And we only have so much time to really build on it. But one of the things we do try to tell our students, even outside of those business classes, is that it's okay to make money in this field and ask for what you're worth, and not be afraid to put that out there, that I charge this much and I'm giving you this service, and I will ask you to please pay me that, as opposed, because I feel like in our hearts, a lot of us are coming into it to help people. And so we're feeling like we want to help those that maybe can't afford things as much, or maybe we think they can't afford it and things like that. And so we tend to get, some of us, I'm not saying everyone, but maybe get a little smaller when it comes to that business part, and don't own it, and don't say, we can be, we can have a lucrative career here, and we can have something where we can go traveling, and we can, not have to go paycheck to paycheck as well. And it's okay to feel that way, to say, I'm going to charge this and I'm worth this much. So
exactly. And, you hit on a good point. I think a lot of times we may think that we don't deserve to make that money. And this is what you're paying for when you come to see me. You're paying for 11 years of experience, 11 years of taking continuing education. You're paying for my master's degree in psychology, because I work with a lot of clients that have PTSD and CPTSD and other unresolved trauma issues. You're paying for the education I received in somatic experiencing. You're paying for that education. And if you don't value my education, then you're not my client. And that's okay. That's all right. My client will find me.
Yeah. I always say that there's no competition. There's a place for everybody. And finding the right client is always really, really important. Because how many times do we hear these stories? This person, I can't. They're on my schedule today, and I got to deal with them. And why are we holding on to that? That's just it's not.
It's
that's idea.
Yeah, it's not. I've experienced that. I worked for three franchises for very short time, because I am super selective about my clients. And I also, there's some things that I don't do. When I first started in this industry, I was really a firm pressure, structural integration level therapist. And I moved away from that in 2016 when I injured my shoulder. So, where do I go from there? What do? I knew I still loved massage. So how do I make that work for me? And that's when I started learning more about the psychological aspect of the mind, body, spirit connection that comes into massage. So one of the things that I didn't care for when I worked for other people is, and this is just me, absolutely just me. I don't particularly care for prenatal massage. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not my groove. I don't do sports massage. There's things I just don't do. And when you work for somebody else that offers that, you have to do them.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was, the certifications that I had in Gua Sha and, everything else were being put to waste because I wasn't that therapist.
Right.
And so working for myself it works for me. It works for me. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, you bring a good point. It works for you, and definitely, I tell students that all the time. I said your main goal doesn't have to be business owner here, and your main goal doesn't have to be I need a job right away out of school. Like you've got to figure out what works for you, and not be afraid to say this is what I want. Let's make it happen. So, and I love.
Don't be afraid to try. If a day spa didn't work, try working for a franchise. If a franchise didn't work, try working for a chiropractor. If a chiropractor didn't work, try working for a resort spa. There's so many different places that you can go in this industry. Just because you may have had a less than positive experience at one place doesn't mean that you're going to have it every place.
Right.
So give it a chance. Find out where your niche is.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. There's this industry. Sometimes I get almost weepy about it. I'm like, there's so many great things that we can do, and it's limitless.
Yeah.
And I was saying I kind of giggled about the prenatal because I teach the prenatal at our campus because it is one of the things I absolutely love. And I know every time I teach it, I have students in the classroom like day one, they're like, oh no, please don't make me do this. And I'm like, all right, we're just never going to make you be a prenatal therapist, but let's teach you some tools.
No, but it's a good thing to have in your toolbox. It's absolutely good.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to offer that on your menu. I tell them all the time, like hot rocks. When I took hot rocks in school, I just wanted to throw the rocks across the room. It was just not my thing. And that's okay. When I have clients, I'm not working too much on the hands-on right now, but if I have clients that ask me for I have 2 or 3 people, I said, go to them for those. And I've had clients who go, like every other week for a massage, and that they would throw in once every few months, one of those every other weekers would be with the hot rock person. And then they come back.
Right.
Because they want that person for hot rock, but they will prefer my work for whatever else we're working on. So, and that's okay for me to say, it's all right if it's not my jam. That's totally okay.
Yeah, exactly. And you just touched on a really good point. I used to teach it when I taught business at Cortiva. Don't be afraid to refer out. Don't be afraid. Matter of fact, I used to have the students build a list of, they would have to contact the business, contact a chiropractor, contact a naturopath, contact somebody who does rolfing. Don't be afraid to refer out. If it's not your jam, like you said, refer them out. We're a community. We're a wellness community, and we're here, to work as one. We're tiny little parts of one community. So don't be afraid to refer out. Matter of fact, clients appreciate it. Rather than you just going, well, I need the $50. I guess I'll take. No, if you're doubting your ability in something, or refer them out. It's okay.
Yeah. I love when I see students do that. They'll walk out clinic clients and they said, next time you might want to book with this person because they're a little more, they have taken that class already and I haven't yet. And, it's wonderful to see them say those things and know that we're collaborating. We're making wellness, like you said, this wellness community, uplifting the whole thing as a whole. And the more happy customers we get out there is only a win for all of us. So
yes.
I love the collaboration, not competition. I'm going to make T-shirts, collaboration, not competition. We'll make sure you get
great. I'd wear one.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, because we're all working together. So, And some of the other things we talked about, our collaboration is to try to support each other with the classes coming up. So did you want to talk about some of your upcoming CEs that you're offering on your calendar? And I'm going to put up your website while you're chatting here so people can take a look at it.
So this month, we have a couple of classes left. We have rotator cuff dysfunction, which is actually scheduled for this coming Monday on the 22nd. That instructor is Christian Duran. It's almost full. We've got 2 spaces left in that class. Then the end of the month, on March 28th, we have Usui Reiki level 2. That one is taught by Jimmy Yalalise, who you had on you spoke with about a month ago or so.
Yeah.
So he's teaching that class for us. He is amazing. It's really interesting to note that when I decided to open up a school, Jimmy was the first person I reached out to. He has become a very, very dear friend and an amazing resource to me. So so his class is the last class this month. And then for April, we have 6-point glute release, which is, I wrote it down here so I don't forget, which is on April 6th, and that one is also 8 CEs. Sports massage treatment of tibial stress syndrome and sports massage treatment of IT band syndrome. Those 2 classes are taught on the same day because they're 4 hours each. They're taught by an amazing instructor. Her name is Terry Hall. She is an athlete. She's actually my sensei and has taught me kickboxing, although I have not kickboxed in a year due to us not being able to gather. But I will tell you what, she's substantially smaller she's smaller than me. She's way more muscular. But that woman threw me and punched me in the face. She's tough. So she's an amazing sports instructor. She's very good. I also have my Stepping Stones certification class in hot and cold stones. That's a 3-day class. And it's essentially the class that I taught, my very first class that I taught at ASIS. Only I added 8 more hours onto it, and you're tested out so that you can receive a certification. And it's a fun class. And I always ask students the first day, or first thing I ask them is, what made you decide to take this CE? And I get a few. I just needed the continuing education. But the Stepping Stones class is 24. So it's actually you have to really dedicate yourself to it. And one of the last times I taught it, I had a student that she left a review and she said, I don't know what I thought this class was, but it exceeded my expectations. I learned things I didn't even know were related to hot and cold stones. So it was very validating. That review is validating.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, and upcoming classes that we have in May, Oncology Massage Foundation. That's a 3-day class. It's not a certification, but I took this class. Jackie Sellers is the approved provider for that class. And, I'm a certified medical massage practitioner for whatever that's worth. But I took the class with Jackie, and things have changed from when I took the class in 2012.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress enough, I'm a breast cancer survivor. And I found out that when I receive massage, I've been massaged incorrectly for the quadrant where I had lymph nodes removed and radiated. So I learned a lot from that class. I suggest if any therapist wants to work with oncology clients, either survivors or those that are actively experiencing a cancer journey, take this class. And then one of our best, most favorite classes, taught by Becky Garza, which is an herbalism for self-care and massage therapy, and she teaches students how to make salves and lotions. I have one of her products right here.
I love it.
She's adorable. She used to be a biology instructor. She's not a massage therapist, but she has a vast and profound knowledge of herbs. So we have a lot of classes coming up. I teach a class called Trauma and Emotional Release Informed Bodywork and Massage, and I taught that class the end of February. It's a 2-day class. And what's going on now, oh, my computer is going to run out of power. Hold on. Oh, okay. What's going on with that class is those students said they thought it should be 3 days. And I agree.
Yeah. Oh, did I lose you? Uh-oh. Let's see. I think the power source made you cut out. Or hopefully it's not me that cut out. Let's see. Just hold a second. Technical challenges. Let's see if we can, let's see if we get her back in here. Oh, we lost her. Oh no. Well, hopefully she'll jump back in here.
Nope, I'm back. That was a moment of absolute panic.
Well, I was just gonna like go through your website a little bit and like do a little tap dance.
I'm so sorry. I plugged it in and then it went dark.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm making the class 6 hours longer. So it's going to be 3 days. And first of all, I always ask for student feedback. I am the first one to admit and happily so, I don't know everything, and when students unanimously say, they love the class, great reviews on the class, but they were like, you know what, this should be 3 days. Mm-hmm. And I said, I agree. And part of the reason is, so we've had 12 months of one huge shared traumatic event. And there's so much more to cover now than there was a year ago. The last class I taught before, we were all shut down, was the trauma class. And, we all talked about it in that class. That was the weekend of March 14th and 15th, 2020. Wow. And we talked about COVID. And I don't think any of us a year ago, I think if somebody would have said a year ago, hey, we're going to be in a similar place a year from now, I don't think any of us would have really believed it. No. So, being able to share our gifts as wellness facilitators, massage therapists, body workers, and bring relief to a client that is in a trauma situation, has experienced whatever experiences during the past year or in their life, it's a reality that at some point on your table, at some point, a client is going to have an emotional release. Mm-hmm. How do we deal with that?
Right.
What is within our scope of practice? So that's a huge class. I just submitted it to the NCBTMB with the extended 6 hours onto it. I'm hoping that I want to run it in June. I'm hoping that I'm sure it'll be approved before then. The classes are lightning fast going through now. When they used to take 4 or 5 weeks, they're taking maybe a week and a half, 2. So I hope to offer that class in June. Lots of good classes coming up, good classes being created.
That sounds like a great, and we have started teaching, but it's case studies, and our students follow a person or a condition throughout their whole program and kind of see how it transforms, how they help their person. They write a report and present at the end of the program. And we have a lot of students who choose or have people close to them who have PTSD or some kind of traumatic event that they're trying to work through helping them with overall sleep and mood and just being in a better place. And not so much like right shoulder pain or whatever, but sometimes it is right shoulder pain, that's where it's holding because of whatever trauma happened.
Right.
And so I'm always looking for resources for them, because they're trying to find things to help them. How do I navigate this, and what am I supposed to be working on, and how do I support my client in an ethical way within my scope of practice too. So I would love to share that with these students, particularly to make sure that they check your class out for that, for sure.
It's so good. A class that I haven't run it since February 2020. I have an amazing class on how to work with clients that have multiple sclerosis. It's a 2-day class. And I don't feel comfortable yet asking that community, because we actually work on demos that women, it's typically women that have MS. But I don't feel comfortable yet asking them in here, because we've reduced our classroom size to 6. So I would only be able to take 3 students, because then there would be 3 demos. So
Right.
I hope before the end of the year to bring that class back. It's a good class. I enjoy teaching it. Students seem to enjoy attending. But yeah, there's, and then this is where we go back to entry-level massage therapist. There's so many nuances to pathologies or to psychological challenges that we as entry-level massage therapists really aren't yet prepared to address, to work with. So as an entry-level massage therapist, what do you do? What do you do if somebody comes to you and says, I have MS? Do you know how to massage them? Right. Because I have MS. And I'm going to tell you something. You can't massage me like you do other people. Right. So I've got 2 things going on: breast cancer survivor and MS. And I've received massages by well-meaning massage therapists. Yeah. And and what happens if you go too deep on me because I have MS? I start going into a relapse, and that's not fun. Yeah. And we take the same sort of an oath that healthcare providers take: do no harm. Right. So, educate yourself. Don't be afraid to take those continuing education classes. We need them, whether right now the state board in Arizona has waived them. My classes are filling up. Yeah. We get calls all the time. People want classes. Oh my. Yeah. That's so encouraging, because what that shows me is that massage therapists still want to learn, even though they're not required to right now. Right. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. I want to see more of that. I want to see more massage therapists taking classes, not because the state is making them to retain their licensure, but because they want to increase the clientele that they can take. Right. And from a place of research and education, address whatever is going on with that client sufficiently, adequately, mindfully, compassionately. I mean, there's so many things that come into what we do. It's been a beautiful thing to see. As much as this last year brought challenges with it, I think what it's also done for the massage community is taught us how to roll. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely taught us how to be more resilient. We've always washed our hands. We've always, sanitized the rooms. Okay, how can we take that another step up? So it's been pretty incredible. Yeah. I know. All the learning I've done this year of things that just have to do, and I had a giggle sometimes with people like, I've never done this before. I'm like, I haven't either. We're just gonna be on the adventure together. We'll find out together, and if it doesn't work, we'll try something else. And exactly. I feel like everyone was kind of on that bandwagon together. We're like all collectively
we're just going to roll the dice and see what happens, and be understanding about it too. So yeah, definitely a lot of positive things have come out of it, and resilience. But also, the trauma and the not so great things too, that we're here, that we can be able to continue to support and help everyone in the community be more well and feel better. Yeah.
One of the things about trauma, and I have a colleague who also does trauma work. His name is Dr. Tim Frank, and his wife, Pamela Lancaster. And he will say things to me, especially when I'm talking about multiple sclerosis. And I almost did it, owning it, my multiple sclerosis. He always says, it's not yours. It's not yours. So this trauma that we've all collectively experienced to greater or lesser degrees, in our own personal way, we own it and we don't own it. Even though it has shaped us in some way, the good and the not so good, what we can do with trauma is turn it into wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And learn from it.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's opportunity. Definitely opportunity for us. I love it. Yes. Oh, that's been so great. I love those wisdoms, and I love the energy. And I have two screens here, so I'm looking at the classes I want to take on your screen too, and what we can tell our students about. And just a little side note, if you ever want a larger space, let us know if there's ever anything that we can do on our end, if you never need that kind of thing. So we're happy to extend that to you too. So I know your battery was a little low, so I'm not sure if you'd be able to kind of show us.
I don't know if I can walk around now. I have my tablet. Maybe I should log in with my tablet.
Yeah. we can paint pictures. I don't know. We can try what we want to do. So do you want to try to log in, or?
Let me see if I can log in really quickly.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share my screen and just take through your website and show some of the offerings that are here on the website. So there are workshops on this page here. I just happen to be on one in particular. But I'm going to go to the main one here. And the course listings are in under the months in here. So some of the ones that we were chatting about, that Stepping Stones course here, it looks really interesting. We're 24 CEUs, really excited. We just had our classes, the full-time classes just did hot stones, and everyone's like, where can I get my stones? And what do we do here? They're like all on that path now. They want to go and do more stuff about it. And we were just talking about getting some marble stones for the school too, so they can play with those too. That's more my style. I'll take the marble. I'll take the cold. Give me the cold. Yeah, so lots of great classes up in here, and very budget friendly for people who are wanting to take lots. That's the thing too. Sometimes I don't have enough money for all the classes I want to take, but if you do budget wise here.
It is not letting me on here. One of the things that, let's talk about this really quickly while you're showing this. One of the things when the school was started that I really wanted to do is I wanted to keep the cost of the class reasonable, especially for people right out of school, because you're not making a whole lot when you graduate. You're still trying to save up. So we wanted to make the classes affordable, and I wanted to be able to offer continuing education during the week and in the evenings. And that's going to lead me into another thing. So I did that because of a friend and a former coworker of mine who worked at Miraval with me. His name was Manny Granillo. And Manny one day asked me, when I was teaching teaching CEUs at ASIS, he said, why don't they offer, weekend or evening classes or weekday or evening classes? And I said, well, because they're running regular classes, Manny. So it was directly because of him that I chose to teach classes all week long. Manny passed away on New Year's Eve.
Oh.
So what I did, and as a way, Last time I saw Manny was in the midnight room at ASIS at the Tucson campus. We took level 1 of Heidi Wilson's craniosacral class together.
Mhm.
That was the last time I saw him. It was August of 2017. I never got a chance to tell Manny how he inspired me and how he was directly had a direct hand into my business plan. So I started a nonprofit to be able to offer the Manny Granillo Memorial Scholarship Fund to provide continuing education certifications for lower income minorities.
Oh,
And it's not just for my school. It's for any wellness program that offers a certification in something, be it craniosacral, be it lomi lomi, be it oncology massage, anything that you can get a certification in, because Manny was a miner here in Arizona. When they closed the mine down, he was like, what am I going to do? And he wound up falling in love with massage therapy, and he got a scholarship.
wow.
And so I want to keep that alive.
Yes.
Because of him.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Oh, yay. And I would love to know more. Is more information on your website about it, or?
Not yet, no, because the nonprofit is just now being approved. It takes a while because I started the nonprofit. He passed away on New Year's Eve. I started the nonprofit the first Monday after New Year's Day. I talked to my attorney. I said, how do I start a scholarship? Okay, well, you have to have a nonprofit. And I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. So then I had to talk to my accountant and get other people in with me to sit on the board for this nonprofit. Because I would love to say I can do everything alone, but I really can't. But it's so this is so very dear to me, this scholarship, because if you ever, for those of us that knew Manny, and for those of us who didn't get to know Manny, he would have loved every single student currently in school. He was so amazingly inspirational. He was just an amazing person.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I'm happy to get to know him in even small way this way. So, and keep me posted on the scholarship information, because if it's something that I don't know, I just thrown out there, maybe something we can help with and figure something out too. So, yeah, I love that. Yeah. Oh, that's a great note to kind of start to kind of wrap up a little bit here, because we could probably talk for hours, but I'm sure our listeners and watchers, like, we've got things to do, ladies. So I always want to end the conversation with some fun questions and see what your answers to these would be. So what talent or superpower would you like to have?
I spent from 1994. This is my talent. I spent from 1994 until 1998 in a jousting company called Heroes and Villains. I was a jouster.
Wow.
I put on 123 pounds of armor every Friday or every Saturday and Sunday and did my best not to die. Obviously, I succeeded.
You did okay. Oh my goodness. Many hats. Got all those hats going on.
Exactly.
If you weren't a massage therapist, what occupation would you most like to have? And I don't think it's jousting, but let's see.
No, it's not jousting. I don't regret doing it, but it's not jousting. If I wasn't a massage therapist, I had a side hustle for a while, which I had to give up once I opened the school. I had a home baked goods business.
Ooh.
And I made fermented cinnamon rolls to a lot of the coffee shops here in Tucson. So if I couldn't be a massage therapist, I would do that.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds delicious. I love it.
It was so fun.
I have a feeling what this answer might be, but we'll see. If money and circumstances weren't an issue, where would you like to most live in the world?
In Scotland.
Scotland. Cool.
Yeah.
I believe there's jousting tournaments there. I could be wrong.
Many.
I'm just going to keep rolling with that. What is your most treasured possession?
Oh, wow. Wow. That's a good question. So I would have to say my most treasured possession. Um, it's gonna almost sound macabre. I have a little bag with all of my son, who will be 30 June 1st. I have a little bag with all of his baby teeth.
Oh, I know a lot of moms who do it. Me, I'm
I
like,
mean, I
please get
think
it
that's
away
my
from me.
most treasured possession is that, when the tooth fairy came, I would save those little teeth.
Oh. I've seen them in many homes before. Yeah, not my thing. And then last but not least, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Oh, I would tell my 18-year-old self to know your worth.
I love that. It's beautiful. That's so great. Oh, well, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you again today. Well, I
I'm
hope we
so
have more.
sorry we couldn't walk around. Although, if you go to the Instagram account for my school and the Facebook page, there's photos there of the new space, so you can see the classroom. I feel so bad that I didn't realize my laptop wasn't plugged in.
No
I'm so
sweat. We'll forget. I got to see it, so I'll tell the
You
the
did.
space. It was great. I love it. The classroom space so inviting. So I love the quaintness of the house feel and the hominess, and I know it's going to be filled with lots of great energy very soon with all your classes coming up. And as usual, as our conversations continue, if we can support you in any other way, please reach out. And we'll keep chatting, and we'll keep seeing how we can continue to grow this wonderful field and support each other through it.
Thank
So
you so much.
you're
Thank
so
you, Michelle.
welcome.
This has been delightful. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. So we'll say goodbye to all of our friends, and I'll see everyone next week with another live stream. So have a good rest of